A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to match number 3 of this inaugural season of the Amateur Premier League. I have the two captains with me. Captain of the Bandra Anonymous, Sanjeev Solaria. Captain of the Suburban Superstars, Mr. Deepak Godgil. Who wants to spin the coin and who wants to call? So Deepak sir will spin the coin. Heads is the call, and heads it is. So sir, you have won the toss. What will you do and why?
We'll bat first. Why? I think it looks like a belter. We've got a very balanced bowling attack, so put the runs on the board, get the scoreboard pressure, and come and defend it.
Well, a new team. How do you gel with your team?
I think we've been able to retain most of the anonymous knights, and I think the folks that we've added, we know them for a while as well, so it feels like the same home team. Not a lot to do with gelling. I think this is a very strong, close-knit unit, so we'll just feed off that energy.
All right, all the best for the game. Thank you so much. So Deepak sir, what should you have done?
I would have also batted first. It's always better to put runs on the board here, and the due factor will come in later. We would have also batted.
Well, I'm very sure you must have seen yesterday's game as well. More than 200 runs scored. What do you expect? How much do you think of restricting them to?
So before that, I have to ask the JFFC team what have they done to the bloody pitch. The thing is that this used to crumble at 120, 130, and suddenly there are 200 runs being scored. So I think it's going to be a good match. The team which actually ends up playing sensibly and will end up winning this game.
All right, all the best for the game. Thank you so much. So the Bandra Anonymous have won the toss and elected to bat first.
Mumbai, are you ready? The city's biggest amateur cricket showdown is here. Jolly Friends Sports Club proudly presents Amateur Premier League Season 1. Whether you're a batter with fire in your eyes, a bowler with magic in your wrists, or an all-rounder ready to own the pitch, this is your chance to shine under the spotlight. 8 teams, 8 owners, It's time for the real auction. Teams will be built, friendships will be tested, and champions will rise. From smashing sixes to strategic bids, it's time to witness Mumbai's finest amateur players go under the hammer. Get ready for the most thrilling, enthralling, unpredictable, and action-packed tournament of the year. Amateur Premier League Season 1.
Very nice length, but this time Patan steps down the track, connects, and that's a boundary. The square leg, well done. Good shot by Mutsa Patan. He is making what a nice shot for a single. Nicely fielded, but batsman gets in. Mumbai, are you ready?
The city's biggest amateur cricket showdown is here. Jolly Friends Sports Club proudly presents Amateur Premier League Season 1. Whether you're a batter with fire in your eyes, a bowler with magic in your wrists, or an all-rounder ready to own the pitch, this is your chance to shine under the spotlight. 8 teams, 8 owners. It's time for the real auction. Teams will be built, friendships will be tested, and champions will rise. From smashing sixes to strategic bids, it's time to witness Mumbai's finest amateur players go under the hammer. Get ready for the most thrilling, enthralling, unpredictable, and action-packed tournament of the year. Amateur Premier League Season 1.
Very nice length, but this time Patan steps down the track, connects, and that's a boundary. Square leg, well done. Good shot by Murtaza Patan. He's making what a nice shot for a single. Nicely fielded, but batsman gets in.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Requesting both the teams to line up for the national anthem, please. Next to the umpires. All right, we will start with the national anthem on the count of three. Requesting all the players to take off their caps for the national anthem, please. All right, on the count of three. One, two, three. We will start the game in the next 10 minutes. In the 5 minutes, not 10 minutes. So requesting the fielders to take the field as quickly as possible, please.
Mumbai, are you ready? The city's biggest amateur cricket showdown is here. Jolly Friends Sports Club proudly presents Amateur Premier League Season 1. Whether you're a batter with fire in your eyes, a bowler with magic in your wrists, or an all-rounder ready to own the pitch, this is your chance to shine under the spotlight. 8 teams, 8 owners. It's time for the real auction. Teams will be built, friendships will be tested, and champions will rise. From smashing sixes to strategic bids, it's time to witness Mumbai's finest amateur players go under the hammer. Get ready for the most thrilling, enthralling, unpredictable, and action-packed tournament of the year. Amateur Premier League Season 1.
Very nice length, but this time Patan steps down the track, connects, and that's a boundary. The square leg, well done.
Right then, we are all set here for ball number 1 in this match number 3 The first game of the tournament for these two sides, the Bandra Anonymous and the Suburban Superstars. Bandra Anonymous winning the toss, electing to bat first. And Sanjeev, the captain himself, opening the innings on strike as well, up along with Ramiz at the non-strikers end. Umar Khan with the new ball. And we expect a cracker of a game here. So here we go, ball number one, and straight away played back at the bowler. A good looking shot and a good delivery as well. A back of a length delivery and just pushed back to the bowler. Once again driven, this time an on drive, and the fielder at mid-on collects that one, and well, Sanjeev is off the mark straight away of his second delivery. The first run on the board for the Bandra Anonymous in this inaugural season of the APL. Well, will be interesting to see how do they approach these power play overs. Ramiz on strike now. And that will be a wide down the leg side. And a good collection in the end by the wicket keeper as well. Does really well to get across. Well, that's a much better delivery after that wide. What a comeback. Very close to finding the outside edge. Superbly bowled. Almost getting the opening wicket of this game. Well, Ramiz would be wanting to get his eye in first before playing any kind of shots. He has those long levers. This time it strikes the pad, but definitely angling down the leg side. And another dot delivery for Umar Khan. A nice little start this for the bowler. Wow, what a cracking shot that is. That will just run away to the fence. Brilliant hit by Ramiz. That is one way to get off the mark. Slightly fuller length and it's right into the gap. No chance for the fielder to get across. That boundary will give him a lot of confidence. And he's given. He's gone. Early breakthrough. Well, Ramiz, who timed that previous shot expertly well, this time finds the faintest of the edges. And the wicketkeeper takes it wonderfully. First down in this very first over. Well, once again, a similar kind of a length. And Ramiz, he wanted to drive once again. Finds the outside edge. And Umar Khan consistently in this very first over, bowling that off stump line, gets his breakthrough. 6 for 1 at the end of the first over. Well, in comes Vishal at number 3, but he will be at the non-striker's end as the wicket came off the last delivery. And it's going to be Swapnil to continue in the second over. The left-arm bowler for the Suburban Superstars, getting an early breakthrough. Just the kind of the start that they wanted after losing the toss. So the left arm spinner continuing now in this second over. Well, coming around the wicket to the right-handed batter and nicely played. A cross-batted shot straight down the ground towards long off, and he gets the single. Which brings Vishal on strike, coming in here at number 3. So the Suburban Superstars trying to use the angle up against the right-handed batter. Well, this is an absolute belter of a track, but there are a few cracks as well which might help the spinners. Well, once again, nicely bowled, bowling that fourth stump line, and he leaves it alone, Vishal. Nicely judged. Well, straight away they are on the back foot here, the Bandra Anonymous, wanting to rebuild an innings already. One boundary so far in this innings, which came off the bat of Ramesh, a cracking shot through the offside. And now he goes big, inside out, expertly played, one bounce and over the rope. And he gets off the mark, Vishal, in some style. Well, it was slightly full, and it's been picked up ever so well by Vishal. Now then, how does Swapnil respond to that? Remember, we are inside the power play overs, just the two fielders outside the inner ring. There is a long off and a deep mid wicket pushed on the leg side this time. The wicketkeeper gets across, and they get across for a quick single, given as well. That brings Sanjeev back on strike. Well, once again, beautifully bowled. And he keeps that one out. So one more delivery left in the second over. Well, the Suburban Superstars got a wicket of the last delivery of the first over. They would be hoping for something kind of a similar thing happening here. And he's pushed it on the leg side nicely in the gap as well. Takes that single. That is now the end of the second over with the score at 13 for 1 for the Bandra Anonymous. Right then, Omar Khan is going to continue, and why wouldn't he? Getting a breakthrough in the very first over, bowling that 4th, 5th stump line. Asking the batters to drive. Well, that's a wide delivery down the leg side, just like he did in the first over. One of those deliveries, a wayward one. And another extra. Second extra of the innings. Both of them in terms of wides. Well, in fact, the third extra, there has been one leg by as well. Well, once again, beautifully bowled, but that's outside the tram line. So another wide delivery by Umar Khan. That's his third of this evening. So there is a third man in place and also a sweeper on the offside. And once again a wide down the leg side. The wicketkeeper does really well to get across. Thing his line a little. Struggling with that line at the moment. And he needs to rectify it as quickly as possible. Well, that's a much better delivery and pushed back to the bowler once again by Sanjeev. Fuller and straighter. And that's another wide. Again outside the tram line on the offside. 4th wide of this third over. Well, that was much straighter and not quite able to get the middle of the bat. Plays it straight to the fielder who is inside the circle on that leg side at mid-wicket. Once again, beautifully bowled. How good was that? And Sanjeev ever so well as well. Keeps that one out. Right in the block hole. Not much that the batter can do. This time shot in the air and taken. Gone. Another wicket for Umar Khan. Wonderful. What an excellent take that is at backward point. And they lose their second. It's the captain, Sanjeev Sularia. Alright then, in comes Samad at number 4. Well, both the openers are back in the pavilion. And both of the wickets taken by Umar Khan. So now it is going to be the left-hand, right-hand combination for the Bandra Anonymous. Well, Omar Khan has already been struggling a bit with his line, and this might be a bit more problematic for him. Could be, but he's taken those 2 wickets. He's had the last laugh. Once again, an excellent delivery, and ever so well. What a good drive that is by Samad of his very first delivery, but straight to the fielder. And now one more delivery left in this third. It's been a long over. He's considered a plenty of wides, but he's taken that wicket as well, Umar Khan. He has his tail up. Well, a thick inside edge, and it's gone into the gap. Will that run away to the boundary? The chase is on, and the ball wins the race. So Samad also getting off with the boundary. And that is now the end of the third over with the score at 21 for 2. At 21 for 2. A couple of early breakthroughs for Omar Khan keeps them on top here. The Suburban Superstars. Well, a nice little delivery, but played on the leg side. Well, there's a big gap out there on that leg side, and they get a couple of runs. The fielder at long on gets across, and 2 more runs added to the total. Well, another dot delivery on that occasion up against Vishal. Vishal has looked positive so far. Not quite able to tuck that one away on the leg side on that occasion. A nice little line bowling that middle stump line, top of off and middle. This time it struck the pad, big appeal. And they get across for another leg by. Well, Rohit Kharb is asking the question to the umpire. And he's disappointed. He thought that he got his man. Well, maybe just angling down the leg side. Nonetheless, Vishal survives and brings Samad back on strike. The left-handed Samad, who got off the mark with that thick inside edge, which went away to the fence. Well, a nice little start this for Rohit Kharb. He has been on the money. He's been wanted to bowl that off stump and the middle stump line. Well, beats the batter on that occasion. Wonderfully bowled. Beaten for pace. Just the 3 runs coming off this over so far. 2 of those off the bat. Once again wanting to hit that one hard through the offside. Signal as a wide by the umpire. But it seems like Samad wants to attack at everything at the moment. That time offered a lot of room, but misses out completely, and in the end signaled as a wide by the umpire outside the tram line on the offside. That one is much closer to the batter and it's gone through. And that will run away to the fence as well. Another boundary for Samad behind square on the offside. And 4 more runs to the total. Right then, one more delivery left now in this fourth. All of a sudden, that last delivery just spoils the over for Rohit Karb. He's got a couple of slips in place now. And wanting to go big, swing and a miss by Samad. A big heave, wanting to play that one through the leg side. And that is now the end of the fourth over with the score at 29 for 2. Right then, Omar Khan continuing now in this fifth over. He's bowled a couple of overs and he's got a couple of wickets to his name. He's taken the wickets of both the openers. So Vishal on strike now, and the wicketkeeper is right up at the stumps now. Bowled onto the pad and tucked away on that leg side. Does well to get some bat on it. And he brings Samad on strike. Will be interesting to see how does Omar Khan adjust here now, because he was struggling a bit with his line in the previous over that he bowled. And now up against the left-handed batter. Samad at the moment on 8th, and he's got 8 runs off a couple of 4s. Once an inside edge, once an outside edge. Not quite been able to middle the ball as of yet. And those are encouraging signs for Omar Khan. Well, this time shot and cut away. And that will beat the fielder. And that will find the boundary. So finally he gets the middle of the bat. And it's a cracking shot through the offside to get another boundary. And now a full toss played down the ground. But the fielder is present there at long off. Well, this time he misses his length, Umar Khan. The length has not really been an issue for him today. But on that occasion, maybe just slipping of the hand, which brings Vishal back on strike. Only a single though gets away with it. And Samad is looking extremely positive out there. Moves on to 13 with that single. 3 fours and a single for him in his 7 deliveries. And they are building a nice little partnership here for this third wicket. And once again a cracking shot, but there is protection out there on the offside. And only a single for Vishal. A very good looking shot for a single. Now then Umar Khan is going to come around the wicket. And the wicketkeeper has also been pushed back once again. So wanting to try something different now. And he's picked that one up. Will that find the distance? Yes, it does. First 6 of this evening. Brilliant hit by Samad. And maybe an over too many here for Umar Khan. He got those couple of wickets in his first 2 overs and now he's conceded a plenty in this one. What a clean hit. Right off the middle of the bat. And still one more delivery left in this 5th over. Well, this time a slower one pushed on the offside and they get across for a quick single. That is now the end of the 5th over with the score at 43 for 2. Right then, the final over of this power play now. And what a delivery that is. How close was that to the off stump? Rohit Kharp continues. So once again the 2 fielders outside the circle are on that offside. Well, that one will be given as a wide by the umpire Om Singh. Some more exercise for him to do. Quite a few wides in this power play so far. 6 of those. Once again cut away. And a slight misfield by the fielder allows them to get across for a single. Well, this is the final over of the power play and you would expect the batters to try and get some boundaries here. Still 4 more deliveries left. Just the 2 fielders outside the inner ring, remember. And another swing and a miss, wanting to play that one through the leg side. A cross-batted shot in the end. And beats the batter for pace, Rohit Karb. Well, just what the bowler would be wanting the batter to do. Once again, expertly bowled. Bowling that 4th, 5th stump line. And it has been a tight over so far. The final one of this power play. And one other swing and a miss. Well, Rohit Karp cannot believe how has he not got a wicket in this over. Once again, very close to that off stump. Just the 2 runs in this over so far. Once again an appeal, but definitely too high. End of the power play. At the end of the 6th, it's 45 for 2. Wow, what a cracking shot that is. And he's given. And now he goes big. Inside out, expertly played. 1 bounce and over. This time shot in the air and taken. Well, a thick inside edge. And it's gone into the gap. Will that run away to the boundary? The chase is on. That one is much closer to the batter and it's gone through. Right then, the fielding restrictions have now been uplifted, so 5 fielders allowed outside the inner ring. And the change of sides as well. Swapnil is back into the attack, who bowled that 1 over inside that power play, the left arm spinner. And he's going to bowl up against Samad now at the start of the 7th. So there is a deep backward square leg, deep mid wicket, long on, long off, and a deep extra cover in place. And he bowls it outside the off stump. Surprised Samad with the straighter one. It was the arm ball. He pushes it towards the fielder at short third and takes that single, which will bring Vishal on strike. And Swapnil would enjoy this, bowling up against the right-handed batter. Yes, he does so. Opt to. Wanting to make sure that the field has been set perfectly. It can get a bit annoying at times for the fielders with that left hand right hand combination as they keep on moving around when the strike is being rotated, and also for the bowler who needs to consecutively keeps on changing his line. Well, misses out on that occasion. Not quite able to get the middle of the bat. Wanting to hit that one through that cow corner region. Once again a fuller length, and he's played it towards the fielder at long on. Gets that single. Well, an excellent over in the context of the game this so far by Swapnil. Two set batters at the crease now, and the Bandra Anonymous, well, they have rebuilt really well here after losing those couple of early wickets, especially Samad, who has been looking dangerous. 22 of 13 now for him. Well, punched off the back foot towards the fielder at long off, who does well in the end. Keeps it down to just one, and now one more delivery left in this 7th over. Just the 3 runs of it so far, and the score still too shy of that 50. And a fuller length picked up. What a clean strike towards that cow corner region, right in the arc, and brings up the 50 in some style for the Bandra Anonymous. 54 for 2 now at the end of the 7th over, and that just spoils the over for Swapnil. He conceded just 3 up until then, and that 6 makes it 9. Right then, it's going to be Ayush to continue now in this 8th over, with the score at 54 for 2. Well, how unfortunate was that for Swapnil. He conceded just 3 runs up until the first 5 deliveries. He bowled superbly well, and on one occasion he misses his length, and it was being dispatched for a maximum, a half a dozen. So Ayush starts off with a dot delivery. So the 2 left arm spinners operating, played up pitch and over the fielder. And that will run away to the fence as well. Another boundary for Samad. Once again, just pushed back to the bowler. The ball staying low on that occasion. Once again, beautifully bowled. This time outside the off stump and beaten Samad. So this is turning out to be a decent over this by Ayush. He's conceded a boundary, but he's got 3 dot deliveries. And now a thick outside edge, and that will run away to the fence. Very unfortunate Fortuitous for Samad. And the And now he wants to go big. Will that clear the fielder? Excellent effort. Almost holding on to it. And does that run away to the fence as well? Yes, it does. Third boundary of the over. Almost getting a wicket on that occasion. 12 runs coming off it in the end. And it seems like the intentions are clear now. At the end of the 8th, it is 66 for 2. Alright, then another change in the bowling is going to be Om Yadav to continue. And interestingly enough, there is a slip in place for Vishal. Well, nicely played down the ground for a single. Brings Samad back on strike with those 3 boundaries in the previous over. Showed a lot of intent. And it seems like they're wanting to continue with the onslaught here. They still have those 8 wickets in hand. Going very nicely at the moment. Once again just pushed on the offside but straight to the fielder. And only a single on that occasion for Samad. Well, they have taken that quick single on that occasion. Not quite able to get the middle of the bat once again. And does Vishal. Well, Vishal at the moment going at a runner ball. 17 of 17. On the other hand, Samad striking the ball beautifully on 36 of 21. Well, once again, cut away, nicely played along the carpet. Takes the single towards the deep extra cover region. Right then, 3 fielders behind square on that offside inside the circle. And he's played it down the ground towards the long on region. And they take that single. So that is now the end of the 9th over. Just a 5 coming off it. It is 71 for 2 for the Bandra Anonymous. Well, an excellent stop. Brilliantly done by the fielder out there in the deep. And he's done ever so well to keep it down to just 1. Tausif, the man bowling this 10th over. Well, quite a few bowlers used. He is the 6th bowling option here. Is Tausif. Once again, nicely pushed on the offside and only a single. Well, this time an appeal for a leg before wicket, but definitely angling down the leg side. Well, wanting to go big, Vishal. He's already hit 1-6 towards that region, that cow corner region on the leg side. And this time, well, no shot offered. Surprising, completely undone by the spin. Maybe initially that he thought that it's angling down the leg side, going for a wide. And in the end, puts his body in front. Once again, slightly short, and it's played down the ground. And that's beaten the fielder, has it? Well, not quite so. He's done well. So once again, just a single. Just the 3 runs so far in this over. Brilliant stuff by Tausif so far. And the batter is beaten. So that is now the end of the 10th over with the score at 74 for 2, and the umpires have called for drinks. Well, I have a very special guest with me here, Mr. Umesh Patwal, the former batting coach of the Afghanistan cricket team and the current coach of the Suburban Superstars. Sir, what are your thoughts on this tournament so far?
It's a beautiful tournament, and the kind of experience the amateur kids wants. I think this will really help them to keep that motivation, and if in future if you can make this an upgrade for one more year when you can have things live on one of the channels, then I think it will really help the players.
Well, you are already, of course, coming from the Afghanistan cricket team, and when you come out and try to coach these amateurs, how do you justify yourself when you try to explain things to them?
I don't think you have to justify because the kind of excitement and I think they are so enthusiastic. So it doesn't matter whether it's Afghanistan players or amateur players, they are on the same level.
Finally, the current situation of the game, what do you think? Are you happy with the score that is there at the moment?
We always believe that you have to score one run more than the other team. So you have to be positive as a coach. You give them that feedback. That doesn't matter what the score is. You just need to score one run more than them because they have scored it, so you can score it.
All right. Thank you so much and all the best for the game.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Right then, Ayush the man continuing after this drinks break. Coming around the wicket now to the left-handed Samad. Just the 1 run conceded in the first 2 deliveries. And what a delivery that is. He's beaten completely the batter. And it's beaten the wicket keeper as well. They do well in the end to not let that one run away to the fence. So just the 1 bye given. Well, finding a lot of turn on that occasion. Well, those were the cracks that we were talking about. Bowling right into the rough. And went right through bat and pad. Beaten all ends up on that occasion. Well, now a fuller length in the air and didn't quite carry to the fielder. He was positioned perfectly for that. But it just did not have enough legs on it. And now shot, pulled away, in the air, chance, and he's taken it. What a good catch that is. And finally they have broken this partnership, the well set Samad. Well, once again, how often do we see this in cricket? A drinks break and then a wicket. And they lose their third, the Bandra Anonymous, 77 for 3. Right then, in comes Anuj at number 5. Ayush striking in a second over. Finally, they break that partnership, that excellent partnership between Vishal and Samad, coming to an end. Samad was timing the ball beautifully, not quite able to get the distance on the shot that he played, the last one. Just a few adjustments in the field. Once again, there is a slip in place for the new man. Anuj facing his very first delivery. And what a delivery once again. How close was that to finding the outside edge? That's the end of the 11th over now with the score at 77 for 3 for the Bandra Anonymous. And straight away in the air. Is that a chance? Fielder has taken it. Another wicket. This time Tosif gets a man. Vishal, another set batter gone. Alright, in comes Rahul at number 6 and 2 new batters at the crease. What an opportunity this is for the Suburban Superstars. They can really put a foothold in this game. They are right on top here at the moment. Well, it is going to be very difficult for them to recover from here, the Bandra Anonymous. Well, just pushed on the offside and the slip fielder gets across. So 2 new batters, Rahul and Anuj. Both of them have faced a delivery here. Nothing on board for them. Well, going almost at 7 and over at the moment, the Bandra Anonymous. Well, he's played that one in the gap, and what a good shot that is. It is intentional, right between the wicketkeeper and the slip fielder, and it runs away to the boundary. What a way to get off the mark. Well, nicely played away on that leg side. There's no one inside the circle on that leg side. So an easy single. The wicketkeeper was the man to collect that one. Well, there's no one behind square on that leg side. So on an occasion when Tosif misses his line, it can get very difficult. And now they have set a fielder there maybe. Quite a few changes in the field for Anuj. Once again, expertly bowled, bowling that one right into the rough and angling it away from the right-hander. Just the one more delivery left in this successful over of Tosif. And once again, uppish over the fielder in the slip cordon. And they take that single, so that is now the end of the 12th with the score at 83 for 4. Well, Ayush, the man continuing and wanting to sweep that one away, Anuj. And he misses it completely. Well, once again finding a lot of turn. And he's asking for a wide, the batter, Anuj. And the umpire, well, straight away says no. So a couple of dots to start this over. Well, once again, it's beaten the fielder at the slip cordon. And once again, it was intentional as well. Pretty interesting choice. And now played behind square on that leg side. The chase is on. And the fielder does well to get across. They get a couple of runs in the gap. Well, not the best of the deliveries with the field that has been set up here. Nonetheless, the batters take a couple of runs. So Ayush trying to keep things tight here. Well, a fuller length and a misfield of his own bowling. He will not be happy with that. They take that single. And now one more delivery left in this 13th over. And he swept that one in the air. Is that a chance? Well, not quite so, but an excellent stop by the fielder. And in fact, they take only a single in the end. Ball watching the batters. They should have taken a couple of runs at the least. But a single to end it. That is the end of the 13th now with the score at 88 for 4. Well, once again swept and in the gap. One bounce and over the rope. Excellent shot by Anuj. Well, the ploy to sweep has been working out really well. This time charging down the wicket. And they take a quick single. A slight mistake by the wicketkeeper allows them to get across. So getting a boundary and then taking a single. Good sensible cricket. Trying to rebuild this innings after losing those 4 wickets. This partnership now worth 16 between Rahul and Anuj. Well, once again just pushed on the offside. Happy to take that single. Anuj. And he brings, in fact, Rahul, and brings Anuj back on strike. So 6 runs of the over, halfway through it. Just the kind of the over that the Bandra Anonymous wanted. Nicely driven down the ground. But once again, protection out there at long off. Ayush, the man collecting it. A good comeback this by the bowler, Tausif. Well, once again just pushed on the offside. 4 consecutive singles now. Happy to knock the ball around. And both of them, it seems like they've got their eye in now. And getting more of the middle of the bat. And he's played it once again down the ground. So a boundary and 5 singles, 9 coming off it in the end. At the end of the 14th, it's 97 for 4 for the Bandra Anonymous.
Mumbai. Are you ready? The city's biggest amateur cricket showdown is here. Jolly
Right then, change of sides and the score at 97 for 4. And straight away a big swing and a miss. And he's gone. A wicket of his very first delivery. Manohar. What a delivery that was, hitting the top of off, and the Bandra Anonymous lose their fifth. It's Anuj who departs. Well, going for the big heave towards that leg side, and he misses it completely. Well, in comes Satish at number 7. Once again, a timely wicket for the Suburban Superstars. And straight away gets off the mark by pushing that one on the leg side. And Manohar himself picking up the pieces. So once again, when you feel that the Bandra Anonymous, they have two set batters at the crease, they lose a wicket. And once again, just pulling things back a little here. They have kept on taking wickets at regular intervals, have the Suburban Superstars. Well, still another 5.4 overs left, another 34 deliveries. How many more can they get, the Bandra Anonymous? 10 and over from here on will get them to that 155. Which could be a decent total. On the other hand, the Suburban Superstars would be wanting to restrict them below 140 at the least. Once again pushed on the offside. Not quite in the gap. And another single taken by Rahul brings Satish back on strike. Well, this time it's been cut away, and that will beat the fielder as well, and it will find the fence, which will bring up the 100 for the Bandra Anonymous. 103 for 5 now in this 15th over. Well, a boundary maybe to just get the innings underway once again. Manohar not impressed at all. Well, now the short third fielder has been kept finer to cut a shot like that one. And he's gone for the big one. Fielder, chance! And he's taken it. They have not dropped any of those catches today. One other wicket for Manohar, gets his second in his very first over. They've lost their sixth. It's Satish this time. Just the 3 deliveries for him. Just the 5 runs. And the Bandra Anonymous in deep trouble now. 103 for 6. Right then, one more delivery left in this Manohar over. He's got a couple of wickets. It just seems to be his night at the moment. New man in is Faisal at number 8 with his side in big trouble. They need to stick around. They need to try and make sure that they play the 20 overs at the least. Things not looking very good for the Bandra Anonymous. Another dot pushes it back to the bowler. That is now the end of the 15th with the score at 103 for 6. Right then, Tausif is going to continue. Tausif into his final over now. 1 for 18 in his 3 overs. Well, what a good shot that is. He's played that one behind square and won't quite find the boundary. Well, Tausif feels that there was no bat involved on it. And the umpire agrees as well. Well, maybe just the impact being outside the off stump. Nonetheless, they get a single on that delivery, which brings Faisal back on strike. Yes, definitely the impact was outside the off stump, as you can see in that replay. And Faisal pushes that one on the offside, yet to get at the mark here. Not long left in this innings, another 28 deliveries. The pressure is right on the Bandra Anonymous at the moment. And another swing and a miss. Well, an appeal for a stumping in the end. There was an appeal for a catch first and then for a stumping. And both the umpires, Fayyaz Sheikh and Om Singh, saying no. What a good delivery that was by Faisal. Well, there was an opportunity for a review as well on the previous delivery. We have one review each for both the sides for a stumping or a run out. This time he connects Faisal. Will that find the fence? Yes, it will. What a good shot. One way to get off the mark. Well, that boundary will release some pressure as well on the Bandra Anonymous, and maybe a kind of a boundary that will get them going here. Once again, a thick outside edge and another gone. Another wicket. Tausif gets his second of his last delivery of his spell. Once again, not quite able to get the middle of the bat, and Faisal departs here for 4. It's 108 for 7. Right then, Swapnil going to continue now in the 17th over. Swapnil, who bowled 1 over inside the power play and then 1 outside the power play the 7th over, and now is back into the attack here. 2 overs, none for 15. And straight away he goes big. Is that another chance? Yes, it is. Another catch. Another wicket. Rahul, another set batter gone. 8 gone now for the Bandra Anonymous. Right then, in comes Sujit at number 10. And Swapnil getting a wicket of his very first delivery in this third. So 108 for 8 the score. Another dot delivery. 22 more deliveries left in the innings. 22 singles gets them to 130, which will be something to bowl at for the bowlers. The first thing for Bandra Anonymous would be to try and make sure that they don't get bowled out here. They wouldn't want to waste any deliveries. And that's another swing and a miss. Appeal for a stumping. And the umpire once again not interested. What a good delivery that was. And now charging down the wicket. This time he's gone. An easy decision in the end for the umpire. 9 down, the Bandra Anonymous. Another wicket for Swapnil. Sujit departs for a duck. And it's 108 for 9. In fact, it was given caught behind in the end. He found the edge of the bat, and henceforth the reason for Sujit to not even be interested in going back inside his crease. Well, in comes Raviraj and number 11, and out goes Raviraj. Another wicket, 3 wickets in 4 deliveries for Swapnil, and the Bandra Anonymous are bowled out for 108. And the target will be 109 for the Suburban Superstars. An outstanding performance in the field in this first innings.
Mumbai. Are you ready? The city's biggest amateur cricket showdown is here. Jolly Friends Sports Club proudly presents Amateur Premier League Season 1. Whether you're a batter with fire in your eyes, a bowler with magic in your wrists, or an all-rounder ready to own the pitch, this is your chance to shine under the spotlight. 8 teams, 8 owners. It's time for the real auction. Teams will be built, friendships will be tested, and champions will rise. From smashing sixes to strategic bids, it's time to witness Mumbai's finest amateur players go under the hammer. Get ready for the most thrilling, enthralling, unpredictable, and action-packed tournament of the year. Amateur Premier League Season 1.
Very nice length, but this time Patan steps down the track, connects, and that's a boundary. Square leg, well done. Good shot by Murtaza Patan. He's making. What a nice shot for a single. Nicely fielded, but batsman gets in.
Mumbai, are you ready? The city's biggest amateur cricket showdown is here. Jolly Friends Sports Club proudly presents Amateur Premier League Season 1. Whether you're a batter with fire in your eyes, a bowler with magic in your wrists, or an all-rounder ready to own the pitch, this is your chance to shine under the spotlight. 8 teams, 8 owners. It's time for the real auction. Teams will be built, friendships will be tested, and champions will rise. From smashing sixes to strategic bids, it's time to witness Mumbai's finest amateur players go under the hammer. Get ready for the most thrilling, enthralling, unpredictable, and action-packed tournament of the year. Amateur Premier League Season 1.
Very nice length, but this time Patan steps down the track, connects, and that's a boundary. Square leg, well done. Good shot by Mutsa Patan. He's making
Right then, we are back here for the chase, and out are the 2 openers, Varun and Jay. Varun will be taking the strike. It will be Sunil Yadav with the new ball. The target, a steep one, 109. And the Suburban superstars would fancy themselves to get this quite comfortably. But these are the kind of the chases which can be tricky at times if you lose a couple of early wickets. Bandra Anonymous needs some wickets inside this power play desperately. Can Sunil Yadav be the man to strike early? Here we go then, the start of the chase. And straight away played in the gap on the offside. And it's a no ball as well. Signaled by the umpire Fayyaz Sheikh. So that will be a couple of runs to the total. And Varun gets off the mark. Well, Jay on strike for the first time and he faces a free hit first up. Well, that is An excellent opportunity to straight away get off the mark with a big shot. Well, one thing is for sure, they can't really afford too many extras. Only 108 on the board. They don't have too many to play with. Jay at the moment taking his guard. Well, what does he do on this free hit? It's his very first delivery. And straight away he goes big. Connects it sweetly all the way. A maximum in the very first over. The first legitimate delivery of the innings has been dispatched. Jay. Brilliant hit. A fuller length. And he wasn't going to miss out on that one. It was a free hit, of course. He played that with a free mind. Went with a complete swing. And gets a 6 of his very first delivery. This time he nudges it on the leg side. Good sensible cricket, and now they need exactly 100 more from here on. A very good start this, and the momentum is completely with the Suburban Superstars. Nothing working out here for the Bandra Anonymous. As you can see, a few tensed faces already in the Bandra Anonymous camp. They need wickets. They are desperate for some. Charging down the wicket. And misses it completely. So a red dot delivery. The first one of this innings. Well, there is one thing for sure, that the Suburban Superstars will be wanting to finish this off quickly. Net run rate will definitely be on their minds in the very first game. If you win comprehensively, it will take them to the top of the table, of course, and put them in a very commanding position in this APL. And he goes big through that leg side. Will that find the boundary? Yes, it will. Quite comfortably in the end. And a boundary for both the openers now. Varun in on the act on this time. And now cut away. But once again, protection out there in the deep. Takes that single, does Varun. Well, it's the left-hand, right-hand combination, of course. And it can get a bit tricky for the bowlers and also the fielders. They need to move around every now and then with every strike rotation. Well, this is an excellent start for the batting side, the Suburban Superstars. One more delivery left now in this first over. We have seen a 6 and a 4 and also a no ball. Can the Bandra Anonymous try and strike, try and get the first breakthrough? Well, they need to take all 10 wickets if they want to give themselves any chance. And now a wide down the leg side that will run away to the fence. Bonus runs for the Suburban Superstars. Well, just as we spoke, we have seen almost everything in this over. A no ball, a 6, a 4, and now wides. We have seen a couple of singles as well. Everything happening in this very first over. And already 19 on the board for the Suburban Superstars. Well, that is now the end of the first over with the score at 19 without a wicket. So 19 without a wicket after the first over. We continue in this second over. Raviraj Shetty, the man, continuing. Well, just 90 more required, and they already need less than 5 runs and over. In a commanding position, the Suburban Superstars. Well, charging down the wicket, played in the air. And is it gone for half a dozen once again? Yes, it has. Signaled by the umpire. A 6 this time for Varun. Excellent hit through that leg side. Showing a lot of power on that occasion. Well, the intention is clear. Well, where does he go now? He nudges it on the leg side. In the gap. Takes the single. Good sensible cricket. Brings Jay back on strike. What an excellent start this is. Absolutely electrifying. 26 without a wicket in just 1.5 over. Just not the kind of the start that the Bandra Anonymous would have been hoping for. Well, this is turning out to be an excellent start to this season number 1 of the Amateur Premier League for the Suburban Superstars. And at the moment, it just keeps on getting better and better with every single delivery. Well, they need some inspiration here, the Bandra Anonymous. And he goes hard again over the fielder, inside the circle. A couple of bounces and it runs away to the fence once again. Excellent hit by Jay. Well, the intentions are crystal clear here. They want to get as many as they can inside this power play. Not shy of playing it upish. And what a good shot that is. Well, they are going at almost 20 and over at the moment, the Suburban Superstars. And now he pushes it straight to the fielder on the offside. Straight away a call of a no, but a misfield allows them to get across in the end. Well, quite a few mistakes already here by the Bandra Anonymous. Well, the fielding by the Suburban Superstars was right on top. When they came out on the field, they took every single catch that came their way. And that has been the key feature for them in this game so far. bowling the opposition out for only 108. Well, remember the Bandra Anonymous was 77 for 2 at one stage. They added only 31 more for the last 8 wickets. Once again uppish, and once again in the gap, is it? Well, not quite so. The fielder gets across. Nonetheless, they get a couple of runs to close out the over. And that is now the end of the second over with the score at 33 without a wicket. And once again picked up behind square on that leg side over the fielder at backward square leg. And 4 more runs for Jay. Well, it is Rahul who is continuing now in this third over, and this is turning out to be a totally one-way traffic out here. A dominant performance by the Suburban Superstars. Well, nicely pushed on the leg side. Well, just 71 more required. And still another 106 deliveries left. Things are looking extremely bleak for the Bandra Anonymous in this very first game of the tournament. Well, the score of 108 by the Bandra Anonymous has been the lowest score of this tournament so far as well. Well, wanting to push that one through the offside. Well, we saw the RCB in the very first game, the Royal Challengers of Borivali, bowled out for 111 in the first game and 108, 3 runs lesser than what was scored in the first game. Now charging down the wicket. Once again uppish, once again in the gap, and once again another boundary. No surprises at all. Varun getting another boundary for himself. And what a start this is in this innings for the Suburban Superstars. Well, you would feel that he was maybe a bit too early into that shot, but still he found the gap to perfection. Once again uppish on that leg side, but this time there is protection. And they come back for the second as well. Excellent running between the wickets. Once again a big over this. 11 of it already. Still one more to come. Well, they've done a lot of running as well. Running the hard yards. Quite a few doubles taken. And you can see that Varun is feeling it. Well, once again just playing it on the leg side and takes that single. So that is now the end of the third over with the score at a humongous 45 without a wicket. Well, once again a pish, and it will land safely, and a misfield as well. That will run away to the fence. 4 more runs for Varun. It's getting from bad to worst for the Bandra Anonymous. Another over starts off with a boundary. Well, an outside edge and past the wicketkeeper. Another boundary. That will bring up the 50 as well. 50 partnership between the two. 53 without a wicket in just 3.2 overs. They are cruising at the moment. Well, not sure what exactly Varun was trying there, wanting to get away from it, but the delivery was dead straight and maybe just a bit too high in the end. And he gets a dot delivery on that occasion. No shot intended. Well, just 56 more required. They have almost got half the runs of what were required. Varun at the moment on 30 of 15 and Jay on 17 of 7. Once again an outside edge. Once again fortuitous. Another boundary. Third boundary in 4 deliveries, and a couple of those very unlucky for the bowler. Well, once again cut away and another boundary. It's just too easy at the moment for Varun. Well, everything he's touched is turning into gold. This time it's gone high in the air. Is that a chance? And the fielder couldn't quite get his hands underneath it. And just a single taken. Well, Varun will retain the strike. 17 runs coming off that 4th over. And at the end of the 4th now it's 62 without a wicket, would you believe it, for the Suburban Superstars. So continuing with spin, and Varun, well, it does not matter to him who is the bowler. He's going to go after everyone. He moves on to 45 now of 19 deliveries. Well, once again, just pushed back to the bowler. Well, just 41 more required from here on. And he goes again. He finds the maximum again. That is a colossal hit by Varun. And that's his half century as well. 51 of just 21 deliveries. And it is not just a half century, it's a statement by the Suburban superstars in this tournament. Well, this time the ball staying low, and how has that missed the stumps? Very close to finding the off stump on that occasion. Almost getting the first wicket of this innings. Well, that was the sixth that he hit early on. A couple of meaty hits, mighty ones, off the bat of Varun. Right in the arc, and that was the moment that he got a half century. Well, once again he goes big on that leg side, not quite able to get the middle of the bat, but once again it will find the boundary. 4 more runs. It just keeps on getting better and better for Varun. He's bringing the target down quite comfortably here. Just 31 more needed now. Well, it is turning out to be a dismal performance by the Bandra Anonymous. They lost all their 10 wickets and now not even able to get 1 wicket here. And he goes again, this time straight. This time even bigger. Varun. Wow. Brilliant hit. And have a look at the score. 5 overs gone. The score has moved on to 84 without a wicket. Just 25 more needed for the Suburban superstars. Right then, Siddharth is going to continue in this last over of the power play. Well, still only 2 fielders outside the inner ring, and with the way these two have been batting, they would be wanting to get these 25 runs down in this over itself, it seems. Well, Jay pushes it on the offside, and he does the smart thing of bringing the strike batter, Varun, back on strike, who is at the moment on 61 of just 24 deliveries. Strike rate of almost 250. In fact, it's more than 250. Right then, where does Varun go now? Well, Siddharth does really well to beat him. Well, everything has gone their way today here. Apart from the third wicket partnership, well, that was the time that the Bandra Anonymous were looking very much in the game. But ever since that drinks break, it's not gone their way. This is a chance. It's taken. Finally, they get the breakthrough. And Varun departs for 61. What an outstanding hand he has played here. 61 of just 26 deliveries by him. He's taken the game away completely from the Bandra Anonymous. Right then, in comes Ayush at number 3. And it seems like he's come out here for just a mere formality. Just 24 more required from here on with 9 wickets intact. And maybe time for some batting practice for Ayush and Jay. 24 required from 87 deliveries. Siddharth getting the opening wicket here. He's done well. Ayush pushes this one on the offside straight to Sanjeev and a dot delivery. And now he leaves it alone. Well, maybe he thought that it was going to be a wide. Not quite so. The umpire agrees with the bowler. Well, an outstanding over, especially in the context of the game. Just the one run off it and a wicket. He's got one more delivery left. Well, now it will be a wide. This one was definitely outside that tram line, the guideline. Bowling the wrong one on that occasion. And now a thick outside edge, and once again it will run away to the boundary. Well, every single outside edge has run away to the boundary today for the Suburban Superstars. And Ayush also gets off the mark with that boundary. And that is the end of the 6th. At the end of the power play, the score is 90 for 1. Just 19 more needed for the Suburban Superstars. Right then, end of the power play and change of sides. So 5 wheelers allowed outside the inner ring now. Pushed on the offside along the carpet. Well, 5 wheelers allowed outside the inner ring means more opportunities for singles now. Maybe we will see a few more singles compared to the boundaries that we saw inside that power play. That's exactly what Jay did on that delivery. It is Moise who is continuing here in this 7th over. Well, just 18 more needed from here on for the Suburban Superstars. Well, we are sure if Varun had been out there, he would have been thinking of 3 sixes. But Ayush, the new man on strike, will be interesting to see how does he approach this. Well, it struck the pad, but definitely going down the leg side. Well, at this stage of the game, they will go up for everything, the Bandra Anonymous. That was definitely missing the stumps quite comfortably, quite far. Not even pitching in line. This time the ball staying low. Well, we have seen that a lot today. And now he plays it nicely on that leg side. Well, just the one fielder inside the circle on that leg side who is also behind square. So big gaps on the leg side to get these singles. At the moment, the Bandra Anonymous trying to push this game as forward as possible and trying to reduce the deficit, trying to reduce the margin of the victory. Well, beats the batter. Once again, beautifully bowled by Moise. Well, he is basically claiming out here. Why was he not given the ball earlier? And now he pushes it on the offside and he takes the single. So just the 3 runs coming off that over at the end of the 7th. Now it is 93 for 1. Right then, Siddharth continuing here, the man who took that wicket of Varun. And Jay on strike. Well, Jay wants to go big. And was that a chance? Well, shouts of catch it in the end, and the wicketkeeper couldn't quite hold on to it. They believed that there was an edge. And Siddharth with a big smile on his face. Well, it was very close to the bat. Not sure if it found the outside edge. The wicketkeeper not quite able to hold on to it. Guess we will never know. Once again, superbly bowled. Brilliant delivery by Siddharth. It seems like he's bowling on a different pitch out there. Every single bowler so far has gone for cleaners, apart from Siddharth and Moise. And another swing and a miss. What a delivery that was. Well, Jay wanting to play that one towards the cow corner. Not quite able to get anything on it. Beaten by the turn and the pace. And this time it's short and it clears the fielder. And it will spin away to the boundary. 4 runs. Finally, Jay connects one and he gets that boundary that he was searching for. Well, just 12 more needed now. Another swing and a miss. Well, he favors the leg side, doesn't he, Jay? He swung everything on that leg side in this over, and he's been beaten on 4 occasions. He connected one though. And finally, he drives it on the offside of the last delivery. He takes that single, keeps the strike, and at the end of the 8th over, now the score is 98 for 1. Only 5 runs coming off that one. Well, Moise continuing now, and why shouldn't he? He bowled an exceptional over. Gave away just the 3 runs in his first. Starts off with another dot delivery. And now he connects, but once again straight to the fielder. Well, remember they were 84 without a wicket after 5 overs, and they have added only 14 more runs after that in the next 3.2 overs. He plays that one along the carpet towards the fielder at deep mid wicket, takes that single finally after a couple of dots, and he brings the left-handed Ayush back on strike. Just 10 more needed from here on. Well, now a wide delivery down the leg side, which will bring up the 100 for the Bandra Anonymous. 100 for 1 now after 8.5 overs, and only 9 more needed for victory. Well, you can see now even the dew coming into play. Moise with that big towel in his hand, wanting to make sure that the ball is nice and dry during his release. And it was slightly short. It's been picked up. Chance for the fielder, is it? Not quite so. It's gone just over him. And is that a 4 or a 6? Waiting for the signal of the umpire. He's given that as a 4. And Ayush, you would feel that he's lucky on that occasion. Maybe that should have been taken. Now then, just 5 more required. A hit away. He goes for it, doesn't quite get the middle of it, and takes the single towards long on. Satish, the man at long on, collecting that one. And now just 4 more required with Jay on strike. Well, the Suburban Superstars would feel that they are taking a bit more time compared to what they should have got it in, considering the kind of the start that they had after the first 5 overs. And he's got a wicket, Moise. A fuller length. Completely undone. Beaten for pace. And they get the second wicket. Moise has deserved it. He's bowled really well in his couple of overs. And the Suburban Superstars, well, they are 105 for 2 now. Just 4 more needed for victory. But that's very unfortunate in the end for Jay. Well, his intention was clear. Right, then in comes Rohit at number 4, but he will be at the non-striker's end because the wicket came of the last delivery of the over. So Ayush is back on strike. Just a hit away here, the Suburban Superstars. And they have the best part of 11 overs to do it. And no surprises, it is going to be Siddharth to continue. He's coming around the wicket to the left-handed Ayush. Can they get another one here? The Bandra Anonymous. Well, he's left that one alone. Once again, beautifully bowled. Wanting to bowl it into the left-hander. Once again, he leaves it alone. Given as a wide by the umpire. Some more exercise for the umpire. And now just 3 runs away, the Suburban Superstars. Well, he goes big. And the fielder, well, he's not quite gone for the catch. And a single taken by Ayush. Well, Siddharth would feel that maybe that was a chance. The fielder not wanting to gamble, maybe right into the lights. And henceforth couldn't quite really judge it. So 2 more runs needed, and Rohit comes on strike here for the first time in this game. Well, there is a slip in place now, and Siddharth, he wants another wicket for himself, doesn't he? Well, he's played it nicely down the ground. Will that beat the fielder? Yes, it does. It's gone away to the boundary. And that is game, set and match in the favor of the Suburban Superstars. They win this game by 8 wickets and 63 balls to spare. A total one-way traffic in the end. And the Suburban Superstars start off their campaign with a big, big victory.
Mumbai, are you ready? The city's biggest amateur cricket showdown is here. Jolly Friends Sports Club proudly presents Amateur Premier League Season 1. Whether you're a batter with fire in your eyes, a bowler with magic in your wrists, or an all-rounder ready to own the pitch, this is your chance to shine under the spotlight. 8 teams, 8 owners. It's time for the real auction. Teams will be built, friendships will be tested, and champions will rise. From smashing sixes to strategic bids, it's time to witness Mumbai's finest amateur players go under the hammer. Get ready for the most thrilling, enthralling, unpredictable, and action-packed tournament of the year. Amateur Premier League Season 1.
Presentation of this match number 3 between the Bandra Anonymous and the Suburban Superstars. Well, an outstanding performance in the end by the Suburban Superstars, winning this game by 8 wickets and with a plenty of balls to spare. Well, we have quite a few awards to be given away. Can I request Mr. Umesh Patwal to come and give the awards, please? Umesh sir, could you please come on stage? Well, now I would like to invite the first award winner, the Innings for Needle maximum number of fours, hitting 7 fours, goes to Varun. Varun playing an outstanding hand of 61 of just 26 deliveries. Well, Varun, I would like to request you to stay on stage for at least another couple of minutes more, because the next award is the Innings for Needles maximum number of sixes, and hitting 4 sixes once again goes to Varun. Well, the next award is the Get a Bat Game Changer, and taking a couple of wickets goes to Tosif. Well, took a couple of crucial wickets in that first innings and making sure that they did not allow the opposition to post a decent total. Well, the next award is the Champion Super Striker, striking at 234. Once again, no surprises, goes to Varun. The next award is the Accenture Best Bowler of the Match. Well, 2.5 overs, 3 wickets for 15 runs, goes to Swapnil. Took the maximum number of wickets. Well, we don't have Swapnil here, so Manohar sir will come and collect the award. Manohar also took a couple of wickets in the only over that he bowled. The next one is the Electro Rush Best Performer of the Match, scoring 38 runs, goes to Samad from the losing side. Well, that partnership for the third wicket was a very good one along with Vishal, but after his wicket was lost, things just did not go their way. 77 for 2 is what they were at, the Bandra Anonymous. And the last and final award is the iconic man of the match. Well, there were quite a few performances. Swapnil with 3 wickets, Manohar with a couple of wickets. But then we went with someone who scored that outstanding half century. 61 runs goes to Varun. The iconic man of the match. Well, that's his 4th individual award of this night. Goes to show how well he's performed. Well, thank you so much, Umesh sir, for coming on stage. Well, that was it from this post-match presentation in this match number 3 of the Amateur Premier League, the inaugural season. We will be back tomorrow with another game. Until then, goodbye. The man of the match, Varun. Well, Varun, only 109 the target. Did you have in your mind at one stage that maybe the net run rate will be a thing later on in the tournament?
Actually, not at all. We were just looking to play normal cricket, get closer to the target without losing too many wickets. But I guess that, it was a good start for us, for me and Jay. And then I think we just carried on from where we began.
Well, coming back to the stage, they were 77 for 2 and they were bowled out for 108. So 8 wickets for just 31 runs. Did you have any part to play in that? Did you have anything?
All credit to the bowlers and the captain for marshalling all the resources so well. But it's a very big achievement to kick 8 wickets so quickly against such a good team like theirs. So all credit to our bowlers.
All right, well played and thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.